Yo, Coach J, what's going on? How you doing?
Hanging in there, man.
Hanging in there by a thread. Sounds like 8 days out. So like, do they tell you like how many competitors like are actually going to be competing, or it's like you just get there, you don't know nothing about nobody, and you on your own? And that
It,
sounds like just like LDEC. That was kind of whack. Show up, lack of guidance. So you do you have a plan for like the spray tan? When you gonna do that? How that's gonna mark it out, and you gonna do all that?
yeah, so everything like logistically is set up as far as like so we fly out, so I compete on Friday. We fly out on Tuesday. Now anytime that you travel, it can kind of upset some things in your body, so you can get potentially inflammation, hold water and whatnot. So we fly Tuesday, so that way it gives me all of Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday to get everything kind of settled back down. So if I do have kind of like a negative reaction to the flight, I can kind of get settled, get de-stressed. I'm not in like a cortisol spike just from traveling because it can always be a little bit of a stressful situation. We've got an Airbnb. It's got a full kitchenette. So this time I'm only going to take the food that I need for a day. We'll go shopping when I get there, make everything as I need it. And then yeah, as far as like tanning, makeup, all of that stuff, um, that's already all set up, and it's with people that I've used basically this entire time too. So, I know who they are. It's good company. I trust them. I'm really excited, like for the guy that does my tan, like really excited to see him because he's watched me kind of come up as a competitor from my first show in 2019 to now. So
Okay,
be good. It'll be a good time.
that's awesome. And so this segues very well into today's topic: what the gym can't do. Everything that you just talked about in that whole spiel
Hmm.
was what the gym can't do. It can't do logistics. It can't prep the meals. It can't keep you consistent. It can't wake you up when you don't want to wake up. And this is one thing that I struggle with a lot is like I have to make sure that I'm in bed by a certain time, especially if I
Hmm.
want to really get after the next day. And I've had to make my snooze alarms like way earlier than the time that I like actually need to get up because I'm like discipline and winning doesn't care. Your goals
Yep.
don't care about your excuses. And that's a harsh reality. It's like a lot of people they say they want the results, but you got to show you that you want the results, not me.
Yep.
Because at the end of the day, I cut the screen off, I turn my phone off, I get off Facebook, I can't see, I don't know what you're doing. And so like mentally it's hard because sometimes you try to, hold people accountable because you said you wanted this, but I gotta ask them, do they really want it? Like I'm weird, like I'm weird to a point where like even with dating, I'm like, it's cool. You can tell me like, hey, this ain't for you. You don't want to be in a relationship, and we can still be cool. Like I'm always cordial, but like
Yeah.
so many people are used to people like like getting mad at them about something. I'm like, this your journey with fitness. This your journey in life. I just ask that you know what I'm saying. Don't waste my time. But that's hard. Do you have like some clients that like you wish kind of would have stayed with it, but like it's really hard like to kind of keep them motivated, or how does that work out for you?
I mean, with my clients, the thing that I have to constantly remember, and the thing that all coaches need to constantly remember, is they are on their own journey. So,
Mm,
a lot of times, like, well, one, you have to remember everybody's different. Their mentalities are different, like, their hardships different, their exposure to adversity is going to be different, so that's going to have an impact on who they are as a client. The other thing that you have to keep in mind too is everybody is on their own journey, and their specific struggle within their own fitness journey is not necessarily always going to match up to yours. So you need to always have kind of like an open mind and an open ear, and like really try to listen to like what the clients are saying so that way you can connect with them to help them out the most. I
mm,
think a lot of times what coaches too often do is they get this very my way or the highway, and the thing is like that just doesn't work with people. Like you have
no.
to meet them where they are. So,
Well, it and with that, it's like in any industry where it's a person that's walking away with the results that you don't have to sleep with at night, that's huge. Because even in barbershops, I'm like, dog, don't get mad at me because I don't like it this way. Hey, you know what? Even if they just communicate, I don't know how to cut like that, I'd be like, oh, perfect. You said I don't have to walk around looking crazy, right? Or like somebody, you know, it's like a lot of people are like, oh yeah, you could train me, you know. That's a, so girls, like a lot of girls don't have any game whatsoever. So like their first thing is like, oh, you work out? You should train me. And I'm like, we talking at the gym? What we talking about? Because, ma'am, like you just gonna mess up what I got going on. Like, and then that feels some type of way when I'm like, you know, get you a personal trainer. Even if it's Billy you got a crush on. If that keeps you in the gym and keeps you towards your goals and y'all end up falling in love, I'm cool with it. You know what I mean? I'm just like, whatever. Like, obviously, Jimmy has something that I ain't have. So, you know, hey, do your thing, player. But I'm like, that's not the flirt move, you know what I'm saying, on the app. I'm like, nah, we not gonna be gym partners.
Yeah, I need to keep your butt out of trouble. I'll send you. I'll order some more of my cards. I've got cards. So then if they
Uh-huh.
start asking you if you'll be their trainer, be like, you know what? I can't, but I know a girl. She's a pretty awesome coach. Like, here, let me give you her card.
Or you know what? Or they can tap into the podcast episode and hit you up via the links that we got. You feel me?
Heck yeah.
Hey,
All
send me
right.
some
Yeah,
cards too,
even
because
better.
send me some cards too. I'll be like, yeah, baby girl, you know, like she ain't really, you
Oh
know.
God.
I mean, everybody got their types. So like, here you go, baby girl. Yeah, that's my card. Oh, your name Robbie? Yeah, that's it.
They're gonna be real surprised when they're expecting your voice, and it's this
They're
little
like,
white girl that pops up.
are you his girlfriend? Oh my goodness.
Like,
I
no, I'm
messed
his
up.
drowning buddy. I'm his drowning buddy from college.
Hey, at least it's not. Hey, at least it's not Bumblebee. You know what I'm saying? Like it's not a Bumblebee
Oh my God.
situation.
Uh,
Like girls in the gym are like silent bumblebees. Like it's weird. Like I'm like, okay, ma'am, you were all the way over there doing your workouts. So why are you all the way over here at the stretching mats and I'm about to leave? You know what I'm saying? And then I don't look people in the eye. Like I don't make no eye contact in the gym. So like you can see he's mean. You know, like other guys, like other people in the gym, like, yeah, bro. You know, that know me, they're like, oh yeah, she said like you was an a-hole. And I'm like, I'm not really. I'm just here for my goals and to go home. Like, this is my temple and I want to take care of it. And coming to the gym is my society. Oh, also, I found out that my boxing gym also has like a lot of weights and stuff. So I'm gonna get the luxury feel that you have, coach, when you go into a nice private gym. You know, the serene type that you can be locked into versus, you know, I mean, there's nothing wrong with crunch. Ain't nothing wrong with Planet Fitness. I'm just like these big gyms are just not my speed. And as I'm getting older, I'm finding that I'm really really irritated. I'm like, okay.
well, the thing is too, and the people take, especially the people that go and like really go to the gym often, is a lot of people take for granted the atmosphere and the culture of a gym. And you really have to find one that fits your personality. Like the fact that the first day I walked into the gym, the first time I ever stepped into Bear, like the minute I knew that it was the gym for me was there's this huge chalkboard, and it was like right after I think so they had the whole COVID shutdown, and they went ahead, they complied for like I think 30 days, and then finally the owner was like, no, screw it. It's like we've got athletes here, like we've got vets here, we've got all sorts of people here, and like this is like their therapy. Like we're not doing it anymore. And I walk in, like find out they're open, so I go walk in, and on this blackboard, literally in like these huge bold letters, says "Welcome back, fuckers." And I was like, "That's my gym.
Yes.
There it
Yeah.
is. I found my
Yeah.
people."
That's awesome. Cause like, you know, even like, and you know, at first I was like, I don't know if I'm gonna do the workout gym with the, you know, at the boxing gym, but there's just a different energy.
Mhm.
Cause like no matter the size, the height, the weight, you know, the background, the orientation, like everybody in there, like my first session, it was just in there getting after it. Doing the
Yep.
same things, just getting after it in their own way. Big, slim, you know, obese, whatever. Everybody was just in there to get some. And like that, I don't know, that energy just radiates because you take that memory of like, I mean, my first session had like 20 people in it. They literally had 20 bags just like there. Like everybody's just going at it. And people, you know, it's a good thing that like the military kind of slaps our ego around because it's one of those things where like I'm in there and it's girls, you know, just, you know, they look like, you know, just college campus students, you know, blonde hair, blue eyes. Like, oh no, you need to bring your hands up and jab like this and hit it like this. Oh, you need to switch up your foot. You know what I'm saying? But like a lot of people are like, they're very hesitant because like my face is like this. So like they automatically assume like, oh man, he's gonna be one of those guys. I'm like, nah, tell me what to do. Like, cause I've learned, you know, even in leadership, I'm like, if you learn what to do and you let them teach you, like you get a lot more buy-in. And they'll want to tell you things and look out for you. And that's how you create a network, you know. But that's super huge. And so, you know, coach, this question of the day has bothered me for so many years. And I'm glad that I have a subject matter expert. So I want to talk to you about body fat. So, do I need body fat, and why or why not?
Yes, you do.
Okay.
So I actually looked this up. So I already knew, but so that way I can kind of like quote a source. So
Mm-hmm.
there is a guidebook that I have and that I've read through a few times, but it's Nancy Clark's Sports Nutrition Guidebook. And it goes over all things nutrition. But basically, we need, I'll just, you know what, I'll just read this part for you and just make it that much easier.
Okay.
So very simple terms, it's not super scientific, but basically it's we need a certain amount to function normally. So fat is an essential part of the nerves, spinal cord, brain, and cell membranes. So it also pads kidneys, other organs, external fat layers of protection against cold weather. So yes, essentially for nutrient absorption, there's certain micronutrients, certain vitamins that are fat soluble. Like you have to have it in your body in order for your body to be able to adjust it or to absorb it. Um, the other thing is too is for proper like reproductive function as well. So I think if you ever like talk to people in the bodybuilding community, especially women, like a lot of women when they get really close to their show, if they're not on like a birth control that has already taken their period. Like for me, like I'm on Mirena, like I haven't had a period in a while. But for a lot of the girls that aren't on any birth control, they'll lose their cycle at the very end, and they lose their cycle because they've hit a body fat level percentage to where basically their body is like reproducing is no longer a priority. Because biologically, like internally, your brain doesn't know that food's coming. Like you might know that like there's a fridge. You might know that like you're about to go eat after the show. You might know that you're going to be capable of gaining your weight back. Like your inside organs don't know that. They just know whatever the conditions are that you are giving it. So when you get a certain level of body fat for women, your body kind of goes into this mode of we got to keep you alive. We got to keep you alive. So basically, like the things that the body biologically wants to do is it wants to keep people, it wants to keep you alive and it wants to make you able to reproduce. But if you're not alive and thriving, you can't reproduce. So that's going to be the first thing to fall off priority list. So for men, essential body fat percentages, so this isn't even like ideal, this is just like essential to function, is 3 to 5%. And then for females, around, there's a couple different answers. Some people say 8 to 12. This book, yeah, she says 11 to 13. Um, and that's just because each individual is different. So, like for me, I could probably hang out at around 13, 14% body fat and still be active and energetic and feel good. I'm probably around like 9 to 10 right now, and I feel like shit, absolute just shit.
Mm.
So, yeah,
Well,
the if you're looking at like lean to like average ranges, so like the lean ranges for men like 11 to 14%, average 15 to 20, and then women is 16 to 23, and then 24 to 30 is like the
mm,
body fat percentages you're looking at.
wow. Okay. So I think it shows how intentional we have to be when we say we want to lose fat and lose weight, and knowing who we really are. Because
Mhm.
like I had to, like, when I remember like the last body scan that I got, I looked at my body and I was like, I have more of like a wrestler's body. So like I'm wide in the shoulders, like a little bit wider, like in the midsection. So like there's
Mhm.
a certain amount of fat that I actually need to function, because I'm also not like super tall, but I'm like muscular, right? And so that fat kind of helps me, what I'm saying, like regulate how I'm feeling. And you touched on it. It's like being at a normal level of like actually feeling well is a lot more important than you trying to feel skinny, or, what I'm saying, lose a lot of body fat and get abs.
Yeah. And so that's something too, like you mentioned it, I think on the last one or the one before that we recorded, but you talked about how like one of the things that you liked about my Instagram was I don't have just when I'm shredded, that
Hmm.
you see kind of like the entire process. And what's going to happen is after these like 8 days are over, you're going to watch that process basically in reverse all
Mm.
over again. Because the thing is like as much as like the vascularity is cool, like as much as like being shredded is fun, like the fact that I was able, to work with my coach and execute a plan to get my body to this point, and it's a point that not a lot of people take it to. I'm not meant to be here
Mm.
physiologically. Like this is not where I'm supposed to be. I get tired a lot easier. I don't rebound back from stress as easy. I get emotionally just like upset easier, and it's all of these things because my body fat isn't at an optimal level for me. So
Mm.
therefore, my hormones, my adrenals, my digestion, all of that stuff, it's not going to function as perfect as it's going to. Like all of
Hmm.
it's going to go out the window with it. So,
Well, and I think that touches on like when you talked about the stress and depression and things like that. I think a lot of people don't understand that like their stress levels and their anxiety and a lot of those things are attached to their habits of eating, their habits of like not actually working and doing anything. Because like from a just a just an evolutionary level, we were never really supposed to be exposed to this amount of food in this amount of
mhm.
time and this amount of sedentary and everything being instant. So like I think
Yep.
people have to realize, just on a basic level, everything that you see you don't necessarily need to eat. And there's a direct correlation between what you put into your body and the output that your body, kind of produces. So
Yeah, I think it's just we've gotten to this point, um, especially like Western societies. America, I feel like, is the worst. But we forget that the purpose of food isn't for our own pleasure. The
mm,
purpose of food is to fuel our bodies. And
hmm
so for so long in America, we've looked at food as something for pleasure, something that's super palatable, when in reality, like by us doing that, we're, those palatable foods, those processed foods, those things do not have in them and they do not absorb as well as like the natural foods that we were meant to eat. So although like they're good in like little bits and like it's fun to enjoy, when you start making that the focus of why you eat and not to fuel your body, like that is why we have gotten so sick and in the position that we're in.
mm,
So,
that's huge. That's huge. Well, this ends our 17th episode of 𝗕𝗏𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗏 podcast. It's been a while. Like, can you imagine? Like,
goodness.
when we first started this, it's like, man, okay, let's get through one. And then it became
Yeah.
17 real quick. So that's huge.
Yeah. We
Um,
got more to go too. So,
right. We appreciate y'all. Stay tapping in, stay on top of it. We are growing and moving along with y'all. I think that's been the greatest part of this process, is knowing that we're walking with y'all, y'all walking with us, and y'all get to see, the different, athletic things, the different health things, the different types of advice, us implementing them in real time. So that's awesome. But this is our 17th episode of 𝗕𝗏𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗏. I'm Tommy,
I'm Robbie.
and this has been another 𝗕𝗏𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀 podcast. We appreciate y'all.